In a world bursting with laughter, chaos, and an insatiable obsession with bananas, three lovable minions are about to embark on an adventure that will change their lives forever. When they stumble upon an ancient map hinting at the existence of a hidden treasure of golden bananas, they dive headfirst into a wild escapade filled with unexpected challenges, quirky characters, and the promise of the ultimate prize. Join Bob, Kevin, and Stuart as they chase their dreams, one banana at a time, deep in their lair, surrounded by heaps of discarded gadgets and banana peels. The minions were busy rummaging through a pile of old junk. Bob, the ever-enthusiastic one, suddenly held up a tattered old map. His wide eyes sparkled with excitement. "Oh, look! Look!" he squealed, waving it triumphantly. Kevin and Stuart quickly gathered around, curiosity piqued. "What is it?" Kevin asked, leaning in closer. With a grin plastered across his face, Bob pointed to a series of strange markings on the map. "Banana!" he exclaimed, jumping up and down. The others exchanged excited glances. They couldn't resist the allure of a treasure hunt, especially when it promised golden bananas. With their hearts set on adventure, they quickly packed their bags, stuffing in tools, goggles, and, of course, plenty of bananas for the journey ahead. As the minions ventured into the wild jungle, they were greeted by the vibrant sounds of nature, the rustling leaves, the distant calls of exotic birds, and the buzzing of insects. The lush greenery surrounded them, and their spirits soared. However, navigating the dense foliage proved challenging. Bob, waving the map like a flag, led the way, but Kevin and Stuart squabbled about which direction to take. "This way," Kevin insisted, pointing to the left, while Stuart adamantly shook his head. No, this way." Their bickering escalated, and just as Bob was about to intervene, he tripped over a thick vine, sending him tumbling down a steep hill. And like dominoes, Kevin and Stuart followed, rolling and crashing through bushes. They finally landed at the bottom, covered in leaves and twigs, but laughter erupted as they dusted themselves off, ready to continue their quest. After navigating through the thick jungle, the minions stumbled upon an ancient temple, half hidden by vines and mystery. The structure loomed before them, adorned with intricate carvings of bananas and other tropical symbols. Bob held the map closer, excitement bubbling within him. "Treasure in there," he shouted, pointing to the entrance. As they stepped inside, the air grew cooler, and the ambience shifted from sunlight to shadows. Inside, the temple was a maze of passageways, traps, and puzzles. Kevin, ever the curious one, spotted a banana-shaped key engraved with mysterious runes. "Look, this must open something," he exclaimed. He inserted the key into a slot in the wall. Suddenly, the floor began to rumble, and the minions panicked as the ground shifted, creating a conveyor belt that led them toward a massive pit filled with spikes. "Not good!" Bob screamed, and in a frenzied attempt to escape, the minions leaped, grabbed vines, and swung to safety just in time. They landed in a pile of banana peels, their laughter echoing through the temple halls. "We almost became banana jam," Stuart quipped, earning a round of giggles. Despite the danger, the thrill of the adventure spurred them on, and they moved deeper into the temple. As they ventured further, they encountered more traps, swinging blades, rolling boulders, and banana-shaped puzzles that tested their wits. Bob, ever the optimist, tackled the puzzles with enthusiasm, while Kevin used his brainpower to figure out the mechanics. Stuart, however, often got distracted by the glittering treasures that lay around them. "Ooh, shiny!" he would exclaim, causing more laughter and minor mishaps as they narrowly avoided disaster. At last, they approached the heart of the temple, where a grand treasure chest sat atop a pedestal, bathed in a golden glow. But before they could reach it, a quirky monkey wearing a crown made of banana leaves appeared, blocking their path. He was the Monkey King, guardian of the treasure, and he demanded to know who dared to enter his domain. In a mix of gibberish and gestures, Bob confidently declared, "We here for banana." The Monkey King raised an eyebrow, intrigued by their boldness. He waved a hand, challenging them to a riddle. "Solve my riddle, and the treasure is yours. Fail, and you shall be banana jam." The minions exchanged nervous glances, but they were determined. Bob stepped forward, ready to tackle the challenge. "Bring it on," he shouted, puffing out his chest. The Monkey King smiled mischievously. "I am not a fruit, but I am yellow. I am long, but not a snake. What am I?" The minions scratched their heads, confusion plastered across their faces. After a moment of silence, Stuart suddenly jumped up. "Banana!" he shouted triumphantly, pointing at the Monkey King. The Monkey King clapped his hands, clearly impressed. "You are clever. You may approach the treasure." With a jubilant cheer, the minions raced toward the treasure chest, their hearts pounding with excitement. They lifted the lid, revealing a mountain of golden bananas that shimmered like the sun. Joy erupted as they grabbed the bananas, tossing them in the air, dancing around in celebration. "We did it! We found the golden bananas!" Bob shouted, his eyes wide with glee. They could hardly believe their luck, but their celebration was short-lived. As the minions reveled in their success, the temple began to shake violently, dust and debris raining down around them. "Oh, we need to go," Kevin shouted, panic creeping into his voice. With their treasure in hand, the minions dashed toward the exit, navigating through the collapsing corridors. Laughter mixed with screams filled the air as they narrowly avoided falling rocks and swinging traps. "This way! Quick!" Bob directed, leading them through the maze of stone. Their legs moved fast, and adrenaline coursed through their veins. Stuart, still clutching a bunch of bananas, tripped over his feet, sending him sprawling into Kevin. Both went tumbling down a slide, emerging at the temple's entrance just in time to avoid a final crash. They landed in a heap outside, breathless but victorious. Once outside, the minions took a moment to catch their breath and soak in the bright sunshine. They looked at each other, their faces beaming with happiness. "We did it!" They cheered in unison. They settled down on the grass, surrounded by their haul of golden bananas, and began to feast. The sweet taste of victory was even better than they had imagined. As they munched away, they couldn't help but reminisce about their wild adventure. "Remember when I swung across the pit?" Bob laughed, wiping banana juice from his chin. "Or when we had to solve the Monkey King's riddle?" Kevin added, chuckling. Each shared memory brought more laughter, and the bonds of friendship grew stronger with every story they told. But as they savored their treasure, a thoughtful expression crossed Bob's face. He said, "It wasn't just about finding the bananas. It was about the fun we had together." Kevin nodded, and Stuart chimed in, "And the friends we made." They all agreed that the adventure had brought them closer than ever, reminding them that sometimes the journey is just as important as the destination. With their bellies full and spirits high, the minions lounged in the sun, relishing the moment. The jungle around them buzzed with life, and they felt grateful for the thrill of adventure and the joy of friendship. They understood that as long as they had each other and bananas, they could conquer anything. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, the minions gathered their treasure and started discussing their next adventure. "What if we look for the lost coconut treasure next?" Kevin suggested, his eyes glinting with excitement. "Or maybe the mystery of the blueberry bounty?" Stuart added, already daydreaming about what treats might await them. Bob listened, a grin spreading across his face. "We can go anywhere as long as we stick together. But we need more bananas," he declared, laughter erupting once again. The minions began brainstorming their next moves, drawing inspiration from their recent escapade, determined to set off on a new quest.